Hello, my name is Benny. I'm an indie game developer working on a small passion project. I've been working on this for a few years now, mostly in the background while I was in college and while I was working as a game developer, which means the development has been very inconsistent. But I'd like to catch you up on how the project has evolved over the years so we can start moving together and maybe learn from each other. Okay, let's get into it. I am a huge Halo fan. So the first thing I thought of making when I started this project was to make a third person Halo game to play with my friends. Um, I didn't want to make it anything, it wasn't supposed to be anything serious or maybe trying to get to earn money from it. It was just for fun. So I found a 3D model of Master Chief online and then I asked my brother, 3D artist, to modify it a bit to make it a bit less cheap. My twin brother and I love Devil May Cry 3 quite a lot. Mainly because the main characters were twins and both had our favorite colors. Mine was red and his was blue, so I liked Dante and he liked Virgil. We loved the game so much when we were kids, so much that we started imagining our own Devil May Cry story and we started drawing ideas and discussing a story and we promised ourselves to make it a game when we could. So now that we were making something, we decided to pivot and finally make the game we promised we'd do. I became the game developer since I was doing computer science and he the environment artist since he was doing architecture. He'd later share environments he did using Revit for the game, and I would import it and test it, some of the environments. These environments were really heavy, and my PC crashed quite a few times. But we didn't really care. They looked really cool, but we knew that later we'd have to optimize them. The more I worked on the project, the more I got better at game development. With time, I realized that the game had a lot of spaghetti code. So I decided to start over and streamline a lot of this so I can develop with more intention rather than just trying to make something really quick. I took a break to design a new character based on a concept art I did. I used to draw, and I still do. I just don't draw as much. But yeah, this is one of the things I did to try and start over with, like an interesting thing. Adding a melee system was hard for me because my animation skills were not that good. It was demoralizing trying to make it work. So I had to put it on hold for a bit because it was affecting my confidence and hope for the project. And there was still a bunch of other stuff I could still work on. So I put it on hold for now till I could get the skills right and tackle it again in the future. My twin brother and I started looking for a unique art style, and this time I was watching a lot of anime, and I really love Ghost in the Shell. I was watching the original series, I think it was the older ones, and it looked pretty cool. Like I really like the retro futurism aspect of it. We decided to try having that kind of art style in the game. So we found a cartoon shader online, tried it out, and experimented here and there. It was an exciting time. I grew up playing video games with my twin brother. Games like Mortal Kombat 4 and Tekken 5, we'd spend hours fighting each other. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, or Brand Fury and martial law. I normally use Devil nowadays, so I grew out of martial law a bit. But we also loved Ultimate Alliance 2 on the PS2 because we could actually play together. We'd spend hours playing as Spider-Man and Venom, so we always wanted to make a game we could experience together ourselves. And after playing Halo Reach co-op, that idea stuck with us. So eventually, I started working on the multiplayer side of the project to make that possible. And honestly, this moment right here, just running around together for the first time, was one of the highlights of working on this game. We made the same rookie mistake every passion-driven game developer does when they're getting started, make something big. So we tried making a huge map, which proved difficult immediately, and it also highlighted how lacking we were in our skills. My twin brother did it in Revit as well, and again, it was not optimal, and again, very super high poly. But again, we didn't care. It looks cool, but we also knew we'd have to make something much smaller in the future, something feasible and functional. It was fun to try. We just started thinking about having different classes in the game to make it a bit less monotonous, because we've been using the same character, the same guns all the time. So having different classes would make it a bit more interesting. So one of them was a heavy artillery type class. We called it the Juggernaut. To make him unique, I modeled a machine gun in Blender and made it work like one in game. This made the Juggernaut feel a bit unique. We also decided to have a sniper class, which we initially called Vanga, but it didn't make a lot of sense given the playstyle we wanted him to have. So we called him Phantom, so he could sound like a ghost. And to play into that idea, we gave him a cloaking or invisibility ability. I wanted to add an armor system similar to Halo, but I wanted to experiment a bit. I liked how the enemies in Horizon Zero Dawn had different armor pieces that reacted to damage separately. So I wanted to add that to the player. It was an interesting concept, but with time I saw why it worked better with enemies than with the player. This is because the player needs to feel in control of their armor and health. This made it a bit difficult, but it's something I could maybe revisit in the future. The third class was initially called Tactical, but this name felt a bit generic. We had ideas of making him the melee specialist in the game, so we called him Duelist. His abilities are still based on the tactical idea. We had given him a scanning ability during that time. We decided to keep it and modify it to fit the new Duelist idea in the future. That was still really difficult, as you can see. The animation didn't look so good, but I tried it again anyway. I sat down with my brother and hopped on a call in Discord. He was in Malaysia at the time studying, and I was here in Kenya. So we looked at the animations a bit, see what we can do, and we found out about extreme poses, and we started testing it out. And this made the animations a lot better actually, and they were more readable this time round. Not a massive improvement, but you can really see like it felt a bit smoother and more fun to look at. I really like the element system in Anthem and Horizon Zero Dawn. So we talked about having them in the game. We decided to add basic elements like fire, ice, electricity, and acid, and then tested them with bots. We also made it so that certain elements react with each other explosively. It's still a work in progress, but the gameplay feels a lot cooler after adding this feature. The maps that my twin brother and I had done in the past looked nice, but were really heavy, so we decided to focus more on functionality and performance. To us, the most obvious approach was to use Pro Builder because we were both not very good with Blender. So I designed a block out for him with Pro Builder, a small town, and made the buildings prefabs. Prefabs are just like an asset that you put in the projects folder. Um, so in the meantime, he learned how to use Pro Builder and reworked all the prefabs that I had made and placed them in a new scene. And this scene right here, he did it all by himself. I only came in to make it functional with the characters and baking the lighting. And as of May this year, we have a stable version of the game that has both PvP and PvE, and you can play with your friends. We are now a team of four. We have a sound designer and an animator in the team now, and they share the same passion for the game as we do. This is us playtesting the game earlier this month. We had a sleepover where we worked on the game and hanged out. It was a really fun time, uh, and hopefully I can make a video about this and share with you guys.
Oh, someone's fluked. Oh, I see the effects on other people.
Who is looked? I don't know
Someone's
Who is it?
fluked.
Huh? Two is the second ability. The second ability. So thanks for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts and ideas in the comment section, and also feel free to reach out for a chat. Also, we'd like to host a playtest soon, so subscribe for updates. Thanks.